So every year we have to make a video very similar to this because it's always one of the easiest defenses to play in Madden, and that is the all-out man coverage kinds of blitzes, the 4-3-6 ones, the 3-4 odds of this year. So in this video, we're going to learn how to beat the heavy blitzing meta in Madden 25. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below, and hit that noti bell so you guys can miss an upload. And if you guys got nothing to say, just comment FTA. Stands for the algorithm and helps push these videos to more and more people. So you find like-minded people like yourself that are struggling with Madden, lead them over here. We got tips and tricks for days for you guys to get better. Now in this video, we're going to be going over how to slow down and actually pretty much beat the pinch buck O meta in Madden 25. This is going to be for pinch buck O. This is going to be for anybody who's running 4-3-6-1 if they're blitzing super heavy. The same way to block both blitzes pretty much works against everything. So in this video, we're going to be coming out in bunch on the offensive side. We're not going to be blocking the running back at first, just to showcase the blitz and how good it actually is. So pinch buck O is going to be what we're showing on the defensive side because it is probably one of the most disruptive, easiest blitzes that you guys can run, because all you have to do is hover your user right above, right next to this defensive tackle, and if they don't know how to block it, this is pretty much going to be the result pretty consistently. And somebody's going to come in. A lot of the times you get two people to come in, and it's very frustrating, especially if you don't have proper blocking for it. And a lot of people will sit there and they'll block the running back, and they'll half slide, and then they'll try to ID the mic on this guy that's over here. And again, it's very difficult to stop, but again, there's some ways that are very simple and very easy. Now, the reason why I'm showcasing that, and I honestly wanted that blitz to come in, but there's a couple things to note. Whenever you have a tight end on the side of where the blitzer is coming, that is actually going to slow down the blitzes very heavy. So that's actually tip number one that can be noted, because he ends up being like he has to take a different, more so of a weirder angle against bunch specifically. But that's one of the reasons why I like to come out in empty sets, so that there is no disruption on any kind of blitzes. But if there wasn't a blitzer there, and you're just trying to send them, you know, if you're just trying to send the pressure the way that it is and they don't get jammed up on a weird angle, that's going to be the result. It's usually a two-man pressure that ends up screaming in, and you end up getting very good pressure, and it's very frustrating for a lot of people. So we're going to go over a bunch of different ways to slow down this blitz specifically, and we're going to start off with the route concepts that you guys can utilize against this blitz. Now, you can send 3 out, you can send 4 out. You're almost never going to send 5 out if your opponent is non-stop blitzing. You're going to block it, and you're going to end up throwing a strike with different routes. But some of the different routes in this game that you guys can utilize, one is going to be a drag. Drags are probably the simplest. Drags from the tight end position are going to be the absolute easiest. Drags from outside the cornerbacks, from the outside, from the number 1s or number 2s that are out here, are going to be very good as well. And then finally, this drag coming from any slot receiver is going to work. So drags in general are going to do a great job against this meta. And actually, you know what? Let me actually showcase it so you guys can see it for yourself. I'm just going to block the running back here, and I'm going to throw the drag to neighbors here. But drags, even if there's a receiver down there, you can actually throw the drag right in front of that receiver. As you can see, you can always take a short intermediate route and take it the distance, take it for touchdowns. That happens all the time, and that's why the heavy man coverage blitzing meta is somewhat not that great to utilize. This time I'm actually going to go ahead and put these blitzers in hooks so that I can showcase the other route, which is the backfield wheel route from the running back. This route here absolutely crushes man coverage, especially if it's the CPU. You can low-key float that over the top, and it works very well. Now, I'm going to call timeout because we have to find a specific kind of route concept that I know is in, I believe it's in the Trey formation. There's a gun Trey formation that has these routes in it. Let's go. Is it Trey Y flex? Trey open. Trey open has 2. This XGH post play has 2 of the best routes in the game, which is a backside dig, not a backside dig, excuse me. It has a whip and it has a zig. as an inward whip. So these two routes here, the outside wide receiver and the slot receiver, they both are on two of the best routes in the game. So I'm just going to go ahead and block this guy. And I'm just going to make sure that these guys are not, I'm just going to put them in spies so we get no pressure here. We're just showcasing how good they are against man coverage. So the outward route, that's going to beat man coverage most of the time. You guys have noticed this route in plays like trips tight end flex, the motion wide post. And then the opposite side, we have Malik Neighbors. That's going to be on the opposite side. So hopefully we block this right. And that is another route that absolutely torches man coverage as well. Then you have routes like slants. You have sharp corner routes. And I'm actually going to find a couple for you guys so you guys can see it for yourself. So you have sharp corners and sharp post routes, just like any other formation. I'm not familiar with this playbook specifically, so we're going to go ahead and try to find one so you guys can see it for yourself. Routes that just absolutely torch man coverage. So there are post routes that work really well. There are corner routes that work really, really well. And then you have certain routes like the wheel route, the zigs, the drags. There's so many different routes that just destroy man coverage. So let's go into the blocking instead of going over and finding one of the post routes that works really well. But let's go into the blocking so that we can get some blocking down against this formation. And it's very, very simple. You can block the running back, and if you block the running back, you have to half slide one way or the other. But everything changes when you have one of these guys creep up onto the line. Now, when they creep up onto the line, this actually makes the blitz a little bit easier to block. Weird to say, I know, but the way that you block it without them creeping up to the line is you full slide to the left side or whichever way that the running back is not. So if the running back is on the right side, you're going to full slide to the left, and that's pretty much it. If you full slide to the left, then the blitz should be blocked. As you can see, the blitz is blocked. We end up throwing a strike, and boom. The way that you have the way that you bring up your pass protections, you press L1, it brings up your pass protections, and then you're going to use the left stick, and you're going to full slide the opposite way of where the running back is. Just make sure that the running back is blocking, and he should pick up the opposite side. Now, that is the easy way to go about this. As soon as you see someone hover above, that has to change. You cannot just send the blitz the same exact way. Excuse me, you can't block the blitz the same exact way because once they're hovering, as you can see, that's what happens. IDing that person doesn't really help, but sometimes it does. Now I'm actually going to do that one more time, and I'm going to put Taylor in a spy. This time I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to full slide to that left side, and then I'm going to ID the mic on that same person. Now, from time to time, they still will get a very, very good release, but this is going to do a very, very good job at slowing it down. Now, if you notice that a person is hovering, this is what I've been doing to block it as consistent as possible. We're going to block the running back. We're going to half slide. And then if this guy creeps up, we're going to ID the guy who's creeping up. Because as soon as he's not blitzing and he comes back, the running back is going to find the fastest defender that's pretty much blitzing in. So I'm going to go ahead and showcase that right now. Now we're half sliding, and as you can see, we end up picking up the two edge blockers. The guy that's in the middle and just ends up getting a nice animation. So I'll actually showcase the replay on that. So we're blitzing heavy, and everybody gets picked up. The only thing is, obviously, I don't know how Tyreek Hill ends up winning this matchup, but he does. I ended up, drifting over to the left a little bit, which is my own fault, because right now they're blitzing that extra guy. We know that this middle linebacker is always blitzing on that left side. It just makes the blitz come in a little bit faster. But as you notice, this guy ends up getting picked up. Check block, very easy. And then you have 4 extra routes on the field to make a read out of. I'll do that one more time just so you guys can notice. Again, he's hovering, trying to make a play here. So we're going to half slide instead. We're going to half slide and then ID the mic on that blitzing, on the guy, on whoever the user is. The user will hover right above, and that's exactly what you want to do. You're going to ID that guy specifically, and as you can see, look at how much time we have. So much more time, and that's going to make our life a little bit easier when we're rocking this blitz. That's one way to block it. Now I'm going to call a timeout because there is another way to block it that might be a little bit easier for some people. And it's one of the reasons why I showcase the running back wheel route coming out of the backfield. So a very, very popular formation right now, it's normal and doubles. Doubles and normal are getting a lot of love. And normal is getting a lot of love because of this cheat flat X post play. It's very, very popular amongst the competitive community because you can't really blitz it. So if someone is coming out in pinch buck and they're running this blitz super heavy, again, they're hovering above the line. So you're gonna go ahead and do this. You're gonna block the tight end. That's it. Block the tight end and half slide to the left. That's it. That's all you gotta do. And once you do that, everything gets blocked. So now you can actually utilize the running back route coming out of the backfield, and all of a sudden you're scoring very easily against this formation. That's why a lot of pro players don't really struggle against 3-4 odd unless you're looping and stuff like that, because there's so many different ways to block it and to pretty much look. This is everybody is just getting absolutely clamped up. So wherever the tight end is, you're gonna block the tight end and then you're gonna half slide that way. Now we know routes, we know blocking, we know everything that we need to know against this formation. Now, one of the easiest ways to know who to throw to against this formation is a lot of the times people are rocking this formation like this. And whenever people are playing against this formation, they're not remembering that these two safeties are backed up so far usually that they can't really guard a quick hitting route. This guy's not going to be able to guard a drag. This safety's not going to be able to guard a drag. So the last way that you can beat this formation as easy as possible is identify who these two safeties are on. Because right now, whoever's hovering, he's usually hovering against whoever the running back is. So we know that for a fact. That means that the tight end here usually has some kind of free release, and then you have a slot receiver that usually has a free release as well. These guys end up getting pressed. Usually, if you're facing someone who's not that great at the game, these guys end up usually getting pressed, which allows us to utilize either the tight end or the slot receiver in whatever fashion that we want to play with. And that's why blocking the tight end sometimes works so well, because this guy is usually manned up on the running back, which means that if we put the running back on some kind of route while this guy is blocking, the user has to account for that, and he has to run all the way wherever the running back is going. That's pretty much the last tip, is figure out who the high safeties are guarding and then pretty much abuse them. Now, one of the ways that you guys can abuse them are very, very good flat patterns from the tight end and plays like that. Now, I'm going to show you guys one of the easiest plays to actually do this from, and it's going to low-key remind you of a very, very popular play out of the Colts playbook, the double post. And it's going to be PA cheat divide wheels. And the reason why I'm calling this is because there's a double for this. You have the motion wheel play, which are beautiful against these kind of formations. So right now, if I call this stock, I'm gonna cancel out the play action, and I'm gonna let the wide receiver kind of go on his motion, right? So the motion ends up getting over the top a lot, and you're able to throw that. I did no blocking assignments there, so that's on me. So let me do that one more time. We're going to half slide. We're going to ID the mic on this guy here. And we're going to block. So right now we have two different ways to absolutely destroy the man coverage meta. We have the tight end flat wheel route, right? This route right here destroys it because, again, the safety has to come all the way down to guard this route, which means that if we know for a fact that that safety is on that person, because right now, who's our defense on? Let's see. Let's see who's manned up on who. Look at who's manned up on that tight end, which means that tight end's going to get an easy release every single time because that safety is too high up. Now, granted, he got bumped there because of the blitz, but you understand why we're doing what it is that we're doing here, right? So half slide, ID the mic on this guy. Let's see it one more time. This guy's here. We're pressing, yada, yada, yada. Tight end goes. The cheat wheel goes. So you have two very good options on this. So the tight end ends up open almost every single time, and you can simply just put him on a regular flat pattern, and that safety won't really be able to guard him. But what I really want to showcase is the cheat motion. Those cheat motions against this man coverage stuff, it's so good. It's probably one of the best routes in the game, and that's why the motion Y flex works so well, because you're able to pretty much throw this a lot against people. Granted, I don't have the greatest team. That's why, I have Lamar Jackson at cornerback, who plays absolutely phenomenal, and I'll actually explain why in a separate video. But again, cheat motions and those flats, you have to find who is guarding those guys. The tight end usually guards but is usually guarded by one of the safeties. Also, the running back is usually guarded by one of the safeties. But if you are running some form of bunch formation, and I know this is a long video, but a lot of people struggle against these kind of blitzers. But if you're playing this guy's usually always manned up on the running back. If you're facing a heavy blitzer, always manned up on the running back, which means this guy is manned up to somebody over here, and then this guy is manned up to somebody over here. You always have two great options to sit there and abuse man coverage blitzers. So start utilizing them. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Start dominating the man coverage meta, because it's not that great, but people get so scared of very good blitzers or very heavy blitzers simply because they don't know how to block. Most of the time, if you notice that a guy is hovering above the line, all you have to do is ID that guy and block the running back. You will have a lot better time playing Madden if you're able to block these blitzes rather than not. So hop into the lab. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any ways that you guys pretty much shut down blitzers like this, because this is not a competitive blitz. This isn't something that a lot of people at a higher level are using. That's why they're using the loop, because most competitive players are able to sit there and think and dunk, and they know the concepts and the route concepts that are going to absolutely destroy formations like this. Stop getting beat by heavy man blitzers. My name is Pwny. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys have any trouble stopping anything, leave it down in the comment section, and I'll try my best to help you guys out. As always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.